Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and school. And boy, do we have a show for you today. And our guest today is Chris Hansen. That was closer that time.
It was close.
Yeah.
You guys really got disjunct and your volumes went all over the place. It was weird.
Well, he was shouting, and I was not.
Announcing.
We were announcing. That's a nicer way to say shouting.
The show was starting. Welcome, Chris Hansen.
And he's eating chips.
Yep.
Well, he's waving. That's something. He is our local Job expert.
And apparently he's doing today's show in American Sign Language.
Yes, he is. Fantastic.
Woo.
This is going to be a hell of a ride.
Yep.
Chris, I don't think that's PC.
I don't know.
I just wanted to show the cat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the cat's climbing around back there.
Yeah. So today we're covering Job again. But before we get into that,
yes,
why don't we play the 100 Points show?
I love the 100 Points show. I have a question for you.
Oh, what's your question?
Which of Constantine's, Constantine the Great's, the first one, which of his three sons was the younger son that killed his eldest brother? After Constantine's death, there was a big fight over the areas, and what was the name of the youngest son who killed his big bro?
Locutus.
Lil Jerk.
You're both wrong. It's not Locutus, and it's not.
I haven't answered yet.
Yes. What is yours? What is your answer?
Cockbag the First.
Did you say Cockbag the First?
Yeah.
That's the closest, but no. The answer is Constans.
I would have never got that.
Ooh.
Constans. He was 14 when he took the throne.
Wow.
Yeah. And even then, it was like a third of the empire, but still.
What a terrible name. Well, my 100
So what you're saying is a 14-year-old has officially achieved more than any of us will in our lives.
Yes. That's
Absolutely.
exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, by default.
It's called privilege.
Yeah. I
That's some legit privilege right there.
Actual privilege.
Yeah.
So, 100-point show question. I've got a good one here. Martin Buber is a philosopher. He taught at the University of Jerusalem.
Okay.
I think he wrote in German.
Okay.
What
No, he wrote in
sect of
French.
Judaism did Martin Buber adhere to?
Is it Ashkenazi? Whatever it's pronounced. How's it? I don't even know what that is. What is it?
Ashkenazi is kind of like an ethnic group of Jews.
Whatever. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's a specific strain of Judaism, but, Ashkenazi can be in any sect.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Well, that was my guess.
Oh. Chris, what's your guess?
Orthodoxy.
Nope.
Was he a Pharisee?
Martin Buber was Hasidic.
Hasidic. Of course.
No points.
No points awarded. Chris,
Yes.
what is your
One
100-point show question? It's going to be in
Okay.
French. We're going to have to answer in French.
Sacre bleu. Je suis non speaker the French.
Stop.
Français.
What are the 4 South Arabian deities that are given the title Allah?
I have no idea.
You have to guess though.
Are they like
Hold on. No,
and
I
stuff?
got to guess. Hadad 4 times.
No.
Damn.
Oof. Is it Goku, Vegeta, Krillin,
Frieza?
and Gohan?
No, but if you had answered Mr. Popo, I would have given you one.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
They are Wad, El, and Rahman.
Oh.
See,
Interesting.
you learn things on this show. Never say you didn't. So let's hop into these readings after some announcements. Very quick ones.
Yeah, we have announcements.
Yes, very quick ones.
First of all, how is our 666 donation drive going? I know we received some donations last time.
Yes, we did. We are at about a little over 400.
A little over 400.
Yeah.
But once we hit $666, we are going to try and transmute material. into
Alchemy.
material. Alchemy.
Magic.
Ooh. Yep.
That's what we're going to do. So, esoteric Nazi video.
Yeah, that's coming along.
Coming
I
along.
kind of had to pause it because I have to take the GREs.
Right. You were saying that last week.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I need water. I made the mistake of eating chips.
Ooh.
Fair enough. We also have the second weekly show coming up.
Yes.
It's not going to be starting next week. It's going to be starting the week after that.
And we had a good name picked out for it.
Yes. I always fucking keep forgetting it.
Friday Apocryphal.
No, it was something else. We changed it, didn't we?
No.
We had a new one.
It was
Podcast.
Friday Apocryphal Podcast or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friday Apocrypha Podcast?
Apocrypha.
Yeah. That's what we had. So that's going to be coming up, and we are going to be doing that as long as we're doing the Psalms, I think, or do you want to go longer?
We'll probably go longer. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could...
Also depends on our scheduling.
Yeah,
also.
There's a lot of stuff that we could potentially cover that we want to cover in the channel eventually anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
There's a lot of real funny stuff. We're going to be starting that show with the Book of Enoch. And
we've got
a translation right here.
this translation.
Yes, and
by George
Ruben,
W.
your mic died on and off. It's still doing
Well-
its thing. I gotta fix that right now.
okay, I'll say it. This is a translation from the Hermenia series. Chris, if you want to switch to my thing quick, thanks. So this is from the Hermenia series. What? Okay, whatever.
I'm back,
Great.
bitches.
This translation that we're going to be reading from is from the Hermenia series, and they do a lot of great stuff. A lot of great scholarship comes from all the scholars there.
Orange right
And this was translated by George Nicholsberg and James Vanderkam.
I can see that it's orange on
So
my
it's got
end
some
still,
good stuff.
But whenever you talk, it's gonna flicker
Is
green.
it working?
Yeah, but if you're
It's
too
not flickering green.
be enthusiastic as fuck.
Oh wow, I'm enthusiastic as fuck. Wow.
Okay. For some reason, when it faces you, it works fine. Okay, bye.
Why do
Yeah.
we always end up doing this during the show?
Yeah, we do this during the show every time.
It's not
Chris,
good.
Why don't you just give me your mic because it seems to be working properly every time, and I'm the one reading.
Cause it doesn't. My mic's the worst.
Okay, well, anyways, here you go.
Okay.
Let's introduce some translations that we're reading from.
Yeah.
You,
I've
sir.
got the King James version of the Bible.
I have the English Standard Version. We have the Holy Scriptures.
We also have the New King James version.
Wheel. Oh, right. I didn't write that one down. Yes, the wheel. It's a new month, so we have to give away a shirt.
Yeah, we have to give away a shirt. One lucky winner will win a shirt by
A
winning
free
the
shirt.
wheel spin.
Yes, it is a game of chance. So congratulations if you win this following game of chance.
It's been landing a lot.
It has been landing a lot.
Spin
That
wheel.
So you can just tell us whoever that lands on.
The red one.
The red.
It's
Landon?
Landon?
Jesus Christ, Landon.
Holy shit. We need to make new shirts.
Just to let you guys know, behind the scenes, they fix the wheel.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
It's quite impossible.
Yeah.
Have another spin.
No, it's Landon
It
again.
always lands on Landon. It's
It was
fixed.
Landon the
There-
first time.
There is no chance.
Just to prove it.
Okay, well, either way, Landon just
Like we
keeps
proved
winning.
it here. I spun it again. There. Nothing happened. It was different. It's a random spin.
It is a
Our
random spin.
Streamlabs says.
Although it doesn't really feel random.
It
Never.
doesn't feel right.
Not-
because
'cause it's-
real random never feels random.
I was testing it
Well,
out earlier.
Actually, when it comes to computer science and actually being able to program, there's actually a question as to whether or not there can actually be a true random.
Well, I don't know. That's more Chris's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I agree, Chris.
okay. So, I guess Landon gets another shirt. We got to make another shirt. Great.
Great.
Thanks for always winning this,
Landon.
All right.
With that being said, I have the King James Version of the Bible.
English Standard Version.
We also have the Robert Alter version of the Hebrew Bible, a translation with commentary.
Yes, with commentary. The Holy Scriptures, according to some Jews. The New King James Version.
We also have
Just that one.
the Old Testament survey from the New Interpreter's Bible.
We also have the Oxford Companion to the Bible and Erdman's commentary on the Bible. It's very large, as you can see. It is enormous, actually.
And we also have Chris's
Whichever one.
collection of tomes.
Yeah, whichever one he decides to read from today.
Yeah.
I think I will be using Marvin H. Pope's translation and commentary today, which I highly recommend. But if you get it, get the 3rd edition.
Alrighty.
Well, you heard them, man.
Heard 'em.
Let's hop right into it. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because Job takes a back seat now, and we are listening to this new guy that comes up out of nowhere. Yes, his name is Elihu, and there's some stuff that we got on him. So I'm just going to read a bit from Erdman's, and Chris, feel free to add on whatever to this. Or say that this guy's an idiot. I don't know. Whichever one. Elihu, son of Barashel the Buzite of the family of Ram, has long been regarded as rather an embarrassment in the context of the book of Job. This new character appears at chapter 32 after Job's final speech and before God's reply. He has not been introduced in the prologue, where only 3 friends are mentioned, and we are not aware that anyone else is listening to the debate between Job and the friends. Elihu has a few small points to add, but essentially his words are a repetition of those of the friends and an anticipation in the final chapters of the sentiments to come in the God speeches. In dramatic terms, the plot of the book is somewhat spoiled by this intrusion. Job is poised at the limits of his anguish, ready for God's response. Likewise, God's response would more effectively have been placed at this juncture. This has led many scholars to regard the Elihu speeches as a later addition, either by the author himself at a later stage or by an inferior author. I like how it says inferior author or redactor. As with chapter 28, more orthodox wisdom circles have may have added the speeches, with the aim of putting traditional views more strongly and in better light. So what are your thoughts on that, or if you have anything to add?
I tend to agree. I think, for me, the strongest point isn't that he's not mentioned before, it's that he's not mentioned in the epilogue. And he's not mentioned by God.
See, God doesn't care about him either.
Great. Well, then I'll start reading from the King James Version. So, these 3 men ceased to answer Job because he was righteous in his own eyes.
That didn't stop them before.
Yeah. Then was kindled the wrath of Elihu, the son of Barachel, the Buzite, of the kindred of Ram. Against Job was his wrath kindled, because he justified himself rather than God. Also, against his 3 friends...
real quick note.
Sure.
So remember how Job's other friends are from everywhere?
Yes.
This makes it even harder because the Buzites, Buz, it comes from the name Buz, and Buz is the ancestor of an Aramaean tribe, so up around Syria.
So
His friends come from everywhere.
Yeah.
They're from all over the world. They're like planeteers.
Yep.
Also, against his 3 friends was his wrath kindled, because they had found no answer and yet had condemned Job. Now Elihu had waited till Job had spoken, because they were elder than he. When Elihu saw that there was no answer in the mouth of these 3 men, then his wrath was kindled. And Elihu, the son of Barachel the Buzite, answered and said, I am young, and ye are very old. Wherefore I was afraid, and durst not show you mine opinion.
Therefore I was timid and afraid to declare my opinion to you. That makes way more sense.
Yes. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. Great men are not always wise, neither do the aged understand judgment. Therefore I said, hearken to me. I also will show you mine opinion. Behold!
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 Moral relativism. I waited for your words. I gave ear to your reasons. Whilst ye searched out what to say, yea, I attended unto you, and behold!
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 There was none of you that convinced Job or that answered his words. Lest ye should say, we have found out wisdom. God thrusteth him down, not man. Now he hath not directed his words against me, neither will I answer him with your speeches. They were amazed. They answered no more. They left off speaking, and
Wow.
everybody clapped.
Hold on. Which verse says they were amazed?
Verse 15.
Verse 15. I have, I guess this would kind of mean the same thing here. They take fright. They no longer respond. Words leave them in the lurch. So according to...
I have dismayed, they answer no more. Words have forsaken them.
Ooh.
So they were proven wrong,
Yeah.
I guess. That's what that sounds like.
But
so
I prefer the interpretation that says that they were amazed.
Yeah, that they were amazed. That is a good one. But according to Alter on They Take Fright, the entire verse is set out here between dashes because it is a narrative statement about the 3 friends and not part of Elihu's direct address to them. Whether it is a glossing interpolation or part of the poet's expository strategy is unclear. If the latter, we might read it as a kind of aside to the audience by Elihu. Do you have any thoughts on if that's an interpolation or not?
What again?
Verse 15. If you have any thoughts on whether or not that was a later addition or just a part of an addition to the narrative.
No, I don't really have any qualms with it myself.
Okay. Anyways, let's continue.
Yep. When I had waited, for they spake not, but stood still and answered no more, I said, I will answer also my part. I also will show mine opinion, for I am full of matter. The spirit within me constraineth me. Behold!
Behold!
Behold.
I have the at least according to Alter, the wind in my belly constrains me.
Mine says, my belly is as wine which hath no vent. It is ready to burst
mine
like
says
new
wind-
bottles.
What are you saying, Chris?
Mine says wind bloats my body.
These are kind of different here.
It is ready to burst like new bottles.
You know what? It's almost like Hebrew can't be literally translated into English.
Okay, first of all, there's no such thing as a literal translation, and still have it.
No, it's called the King James Bible. It's perfect in every way.
Yeah, the King James version.
Translations. If English was good enough for Jesus, it's good enough for me.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Well,
I mean, the last messenger of God, Joseph Smith, used the King James version of the Bible.
And as we know, he is the founder of the Church of Magic Underwear,
Yes.
which is going to be the name.
The Church of Underwear Magic.
Oh, sorry, you're right. The Church of Underwear Magic.
Yes.
Because I really hope the audience can figure that out.
They have magic underwear.
Yes, but I hope the audience can figure that one out.
Yes. Behold, my belly is wine. Oh, yeah. I will speak that I may be refreshed. I will open my lips in answer.
So you know what's really weird in the previous verse we were told that like he was he's gonna speak now because he just kind of got sick of listening to them suck at it. But in his introduction, oh my God, I can't talk. In his introduction, when he was speaking, he was like, I was so afraid to talk.
Yeah, because you're all so old and wise.
Yeah. And now that everyone's gone, now he can lay down the law.
Yeah.
He was saying he was afraid to talk because they were elders, but then he got really upset because they were just crappy at it. So he went from being afraid to speak out to just not speaking out of respect for them being elders, and then he slowly boiled in rage.
Seems like a great guy.
Yeah. I pray that you accept any man's person, neither let me give flattering titles unto man. For I know not to give flattering titles. In so doing, my Maker would soon take me away.
So apparently, the Hebrew verb at the end puns on show favor. So I'm just going to read mine here. So I will show favor to no man, nor flatter any person. For if I knew how to flatter, my Maker would soon take me away. And the Hebrew verb at the end puns on show favor. Very literally, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, and I don't care right now. Lasait panim, very literally to bear a face, because take away or bear off is also lasait, apparently.
Wow.
Well, that's according to Alter.
Alter speaks Hebrew,
I am sure that he speaks Hebrew, yes.
Yeah, you would know. Well, that's the end of chapter 32. If you're enjoying the stream so far.
Also, before we move on, can you guys read verse 3 real quick?
Verse 3? Okay, sure.
Verse 3.
Yeah, read that again. I want to see what you guys had for a translation.
Also against his 3 friends was his wrath kindled, because they had found no answer and yet had condemned Job.
Yeah, I have he burned with anger also at Job's 3 friends, because they had found no answer, although they had declared Job to be in the wrong. Would you like to hear Alter's translation?
Well, let me note what Pope says. Pope translates it as, and against his 3 companions his anger also flared, because they had not found an answer and so had made God guilty.
Ooh, that's very different from all of these.
Yes.
And the reason why he puts it as God is so he says, according to Jewish tradition, this is one of the 18 emendations of the scribes. The original reading, it is alleged, was God rather than Job. The 3 friends, having found no answer to Job, had thereby made God guilty.
So, I mean, I would definitely like, even though I can't read the Hebrew, I would like to see like the manuscript evidence for that. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would have to read English stuff about it, but still.
Or you could learn.
I could also, well, yeah, but I'm not gonna like. When I learn Hebrew, it's not going to be just for this verse.
I'm not sure that there's manuscript evidence of it, but Pope retains the Jewish tradition on it.
Okay, gotcha.
Well,
I didn't even know there was a Jewish tradition on it.
With that being said, if you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like, subscribe, share, comment, Make sure it gets around to all your friends, family, neighbors, pets, friends.
Pets, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to leave them out.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
You know, if you're gonna get that pet groomed, talk
If your
to that
bird
guy
has a Twitter.
who's grooming the pet.
Yeah. And of course, to anybody listening in Antarctica, hello.
Hello, Antarcticans. How are those?
I don't think they're natives.
What? What do you mean they're not natives? How is the underground civilization going?
I hope it's going well.
Are the UFOs doing well too?
No,
I don't know.
UFOs never do well. You guys just need to be quiet.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about that.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, we don't talk about Big Brother.
Otherwise, Big Brother's gonna get us.
They're gonna get us anyway.
Well,
I know.
Actually, it's okay for Lawrence because he's Jewish.
Oh yeah. Well, actually,
Yeah.
so is
I
Ruben.
was bar mitzvahed.
Chris is just shocked.
The problem is Lawrence has special clout because he's also Russian.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
that's true.
My grandparents are Russian.
Okay, well, I'm Russian. You got nothing to do with us. We don't know you. You're a nobody to us. You're not part of our
Oi,
mob.
William, shugna, listen to yourself.
Lawrence, speak Russian.
Что ты хочешь, что я тебе сказал?
Yeah, I don't know what you said.
I know.
Okay.
Well,
Here,
no.
I'll give you one. Suka.
Bitch.
Oh, yeah, kind of.
Of course I know
It's
that
a literal
one. Everyone
translation.
No,
knows
it's all
Juki.
fucking slang. If you want the literal one for bitch,
Yeah.
it's sтерва. If you want the female dog slang bitch, then it's suka.
Oh. Great.
You're welcome.
Well, now that I have my setup all together.
Yes, I see that. You look like a true scholar,
Wow.
a true intellectual. It's like
Gross.
I can
No,
see you in a
No,
meme.
Look at my shelf. I win this.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah, that's true.
What nice shells.
And they're all about Job.
Or you're compensating for something.
No, just that bottom shelf is about Job.
Okay.
Job and Deuteronomy. I have like 10 commentaries on Deuteronomy now.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of stuff on Deuteronomy also.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Send it my way.
What?
Send it my way.
Those books are mine. I purchased them.
I don't care about your personal property. No, what did you get on Deuteronomy? Because now I'm interested. And yes, I'm going to waylay until we get an answer to
Okay.
this.
Most of the stuff I got, it's not just on Deuteronomy. It's mostly on the Deuteronomistic history.
Oh.
Yeah. So Deuteronomy is just.
I don't care unless it's on Deuteronomy.
I mean, there's stuff in there about Deuteronomy, but.
If you find any references to Deuteronomy 32, 8 through 9, let me know.
I will. I will do that. Okay.
Shika.
Thank you. So let's finally, after learning some Russian, let's hop right into chapter 33. But now,
32.
hear my speech, O Job, and listen to all my words. Behold!
Behold!
I open my mouth, the tongue in my mouth speaks. My words declare the uprightness of my heart, and what my lips know they speak sincerely. He really likes to talk himself up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You-
I like to talk. I like to talk myself up, so I get it.
That's true, but I don't think you've ever done it quite like that.
You know what? Give me time.
Okay. The Spirit of God has made me, and the breath of the Almighty gives me life. Is the Almighty Shaddai there? In verse 4?
It says Shaddai.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
says God's Spirit. What is the Hebrew for God's Spirit? Is it his Ruach?
I don't know.
Does God have a Ruach?
I don't know. Maybe Chris knows that. Maybe he's looking it up right now. While I keep reading.
Yeah.
Answer me if you can. Set your words in order before me. Take your stand. Behold!
Behold!
I am toward God as you are. I too was pinched off from a piece of clay. Behold!
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 No fear of me need terrify you. My pressure will not be heavy upon you. You know, it really sounds like he's putting a lot of...
actually died.
Did it?
Yeah, battery wise. Just now.
So mine says, why I am like you
No,
to God.
it does not use Ruach for his spirit. Sorry.
Oh,
Great.
great. Well,
Am I back? Yeah. Great.
welcome back.
Yes.
It says my
Welcome
urging
back
does
to
not weigh upon you.
reality.
Wait, what are you saying, Chris?
I said, welcome back to reality. Jeez,
Yes.
listen to me. You
Oh,
should
I'm
pay attention
trying.
to me more, Lawrence.
Yeah,
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
I'm
notice me,
giving it
senpai.
my best shot, the old college try.
These get degrees.
Surely you have spoken in my ears, and I have heard the sound of your words. Wait, hold on. Job hasn't even spoken to him yet.
I mean, he's heard the sound of him talking himself up, right? Or talking him up.
I guess, yeah.
So,
But okay. You say, I am pure without transgression. I am clean, and there is no iniquity in me. Behold!
behold!
He finds occasions against me. He counts me as his enemy. He puts my feet in the stocks and watches all my paths. Behold!
Behold!
There are so many beholds in here.
Yes, there are. It's been a while.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say this is evidence that this did not come from the author of the rest of Job.
Because of the behold?
Because of the beholds.
Is that enough?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In this you are not right. I will answer for you, for God is greater than man. In that case, why would Job trust them?
Why would Job trust any of the people he's talked to?
Yeah, I know,
Like,
ever.
they're his friends, but like he hasn't trusted them.
Yeah,
Obviously,
not at all.
because he argued with them.
Yeah.
Why would he trust this guy?
I know this random dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you contend against him, saying he will answer none of man's words? For God speaks in one way and in two, though man does not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men while they slumber on their beds, then he opens the ears of men and terrifies them with warnings. Like night terrors?
So it's Alter says he terrifies them with reproof. The Hebrew here is obscure. Instead of the Masoretic Yatom, he seals. This translation reads with the Septuagint Yahatem terrifies them. This is pointed out in the only bit on chapter 33 that Eerdman has. It says, he states that God answers humans in two ways. First in a dream or vision, and second by using suffering as a discipline. The dream functions as a warning, presumably a reference to nightmares. There can be reprieve if a meteor declares a person upright before God.
You know what's really weird? It says that, so if the understanding is that the two ways in which God speaks is through dreams or visions, maybe, let's go with that, and suffering, but
Yeah.
that would directly go against the stuff we've learned so far. There are points where God is directly speaking to people.
Right. But now there are two ways to speak to God. Suffer
Okay.
or dream.
Okay. We could make
What
that a
verse
song.
Okay, what verse are we on?
That was about
We're around 15.
14 and 15?
Okay.
That was according to Erdman's, right?
Right.
Okay.
Erdman's, but really in the text, we only talked about it being a dream and them having nightmares.
Yeah, so far we've only talked about...
So nightmares are proof of God, according to
Well,
this.
no, that's just a way that he can speak to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That he may turn man aside from his deed and conceal pride from a man. He keeps back his soul from the pit, his life from perishing by the sword. What's the word for pit there?
So the pit is going to come up again here in a little bit. It is shahat.
Okay. And is that to be understood as Sheol?
It's likely to be understood as the underworld. It is related to the pit, which is what is called Mot's domain in the Baal cycle.
Ah, okay. That would make a lot of sense.
And wait, when we get to verse 22, I'll have a note there. So.
Okay. Man is also rebuked with pain on his bed and with continual strife in his bones, so that his life loathes bread and his appetite the choicest food. His flesh is so wasted away that it cannot be seen, and his bones that were not seen stick out. His soul draws near the pit, and his life to those who bring death.
This one, so Alter says, and his being draws near to the pit, his life breath to the killers. And he says if the received text is accurate, this would refer to angels of destruction in Sheol.
Yeah, so here's what Pope says, and I actually agree with Pope on this. The Masoretic text, Menitim, killers, recalls the Akkadian term for infernal demons, Mushumituti. However, the parallelism with the pit, Shahat, indicates that the reference is to the abode of the dead or the god of the death, Mot. LXX has Hades, and the Syriac and the Targums have death. The line is short, and possibly a word has also fallen out. It may be lengthened slightly by reading Lemo Metim instead of La Metim. If the Masoretic text is retained, the allusion would be to destroying angels, a motif elaborated in later Jewish literature. I venture a new and quite simple emendation with Leme Mawet Mo, to the waters of death.
So just so we're clear, on the destroying angels, you're going to hear a lot more about that when we cover Enoch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Real quick, with the enclitic emphatic particle at the end. The watery nature of the netherworld is well attested, such as in 2 Samuel, and then he cites a cross on that. So yeah, I tend to agree with him there that we should be interpreting it as probably referencing Mot.
So the demons that you said, what language did you say that was originally from?
Oh, he argues it's a callback to the Akkadian Mushmi Tosi.
Okay, so if you want, I do have a book on Mesopotamian incantations, and they're all about like evil stuff, because the book is called Deliver Me from Evil. So it's about like demons and that kind of darker stuff. So if you want, I can probably look for something in there that has to do with those.
Hey, why not?
I don't know.
Sure.
Put a pin in that.
Actually, I can also look because I've got I also have a book on witchcraft, the Maklu witchcraft, so it might have something with these demons in there as well.
All right. Well, let's continue here. That was verse 22. Okay. If there be for him an angel, a mediator
one of the 1,000 to declare to man what is right for him. And he is merciful to him and says, deliver him from going down into the pit. I have found a ransom. Let his flesh become fresh with youth. Let him return to the days of his youthful vigor. Then man prays to God, and he accepts him. He sees his face with a shout of joy, and he restores to the man his righteousness.
So in verse 25, Alter says his flesh would become sleeker than in youth. He says for become sleeker. The Hebrew verb is anomalous and may reflect a corrupted text, so the translation is conjectural.
Great, fantastic. He sings before men and says, I have sinned and perverted what was right, and it was not repaid to me. He has redeemed my soul from going down into the pit, and my life shall look upon the light.
When
So
it says he sings, it says the form of the verb is peculiar and its meaning is somewhat uncertain.
So what I find interesting here is this this shares a lot of tones with like later traditions and interpretations, especially with being redeemed and being saved from the pit. But of course, in this context, it's very different because, like, you know, I said some shitty things. My life got really bad, but then, you know, I prayed, I guess, and then it was okay. I didn't die from all those shitty things. In fact, I got better, and I was wrong before.
So they mentioned angels in yours.
Yes.
It points it out as a mediator in here.
No, I have both. I have if there be for him an angel, a mediator, one of the 1,000.
Oh, okay. Well, it says in Eerdmans, the emphasis on the mediator figure here may suggest a later hand, since this idea became more popular during the Persian period and after during the influence of Persian dualism.
So that would make sense, especially of how angels were portrayed in the Torah, I think. At least that was just from reading it, what I could tell. Anyways, behold!
Behold!
God does all these things twice, 3 times with a man to bring back his soul from the pit, that he may be lighted with the light of life. Pay attention, O Job. Listen to me. Be silent, and I will speak. If you have any words, answer me. Dude, he just told him to be quiet. And now he's asking for him to speak.
So Alter says here, characteristically, the speech of Elihu's ends not with poetic imagery or genuine argumentation, but with emphatic exhortation, in a repetitious series of declarations that Job should be silent and listen to the wisdom that Allah is about to impart to him.
Yeah, even though he just dropped some truth bombs on him, and he's still gonna go after this, because, you know, he's asking him, yeah, if you have any words, answer me. Speak, for I desire to justify you. If not, listen to me. Be silent, and I will teach you wisdom. We have learned that Job is a very argumentative person. Why would he not have something to say?
Well, he would have something to say,
Yeah.
but this guy's just like, no, just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Right? It's
But then Elihu continues. So anyways, that is the end of chapter 33.
yes, it is.
Did
You guys-
Did
What's up?
anyone note that the Septuagint omits the last 5 lines?
Does it really?
Yes, it omits the last 5 lines of the speech. The Septuagint actually omits hundreds of lines from the book of Job.
Oof,
Good old Septuagint.
gross.
Yeah.
It's the most reliable translation. That's why the King James Bible used it.
Well,
King James, guys.
I mean,
King James.
there's nothing wrong with trimming the fat here and there.
Wait, yeah, does actually check King James, see if it
If it has that, if the
King James is 33 verses.
oh, it's 33.
Probably does. It actually probably does because the King James Bible worked off of the Masoretic text a fair amount.
Okay.
So, anyways, yeah, that's the end of chapter 33. Drop a like if you're
yeah.
enjoying the stream.
If you're not enjoying the stream, drop a dislike.
That was chapter 32.
Oh, wait, what?
Yes. Kinda. Oh no, it's. I forgot that Pope reorders the numbering slightly.
You idiot! You are so stupid.
Oof. Well,
Still better than your golden calf video.
Oh, you know what? Them fighting words. All right, let's continue to chapter 34, which comes directly after 33.
I didn't know that, Lauren.
And Chris is going to be reading that one. Which right? You're using Marvin Pope's translation. So yeah.
Yes, I am using Marvin H. Pope's translation. It is the best translation.
Well, if the Pope
Spectacular.
says so, I guess it must be.
Yeah, you can't say it's not. So yeah, let's continue there.
Elihu continued. Hear my words, my wise ones.
Please do not do the Trump voice.
Hear my words, my wise words. They're so wise. My wisdom's huge.
I have words. I have big words. I know very big words.
The best words. Okay, I'll be right back.
Fake news. Okay. Wait, why'd he go away? Do I have to set Sean Spicer on him?
What? Oh God, please no. Let's but we can just continue with the reading then.
Okay. Elihu continued. Hear you wise ones my words, you savants, give ear to me, for the ear tests words as the palate tastes by eating. Let us choose for ourselves what is just. Let us decide between us what is good. Now Job has said, I am righteous, and God has robbed me of my right. Concerning my case he lies, wounded with his darts, yet sinless. Was ever a fellow like Job? He gulps mockery like water, keeps company with evildoers, consorts with wicked men. For he says, it profits man nothing when he is pleasing to God. So you sensible men, hear me. Far be it from God to do evil, from Shaddai to do wrong. Nay, he pays a man for his work, brings home a man's conduct to him. Surely God would not do evil, nor should I pervert justice. Who entrusted the earth to him? Who assigned him the whole earth?
So do you? I know that you talk a lot about this, especially in relation to the Deuteronomy verses that you've been studying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd love to hear some notes on that if you got it. Who gave him the earth.
Yeah, well, it's right here. What it's actually trying to really get at is that no one entrusts. Is basically God is the supreme, is viewed as supreme being. So it's basically saying that no one actually assigned it to him. He's the founder of it. So he is the caretaker of it. He is what basically establishes the justice therein.
Gotcha.
So this would be and as we see throughout the book of Job, this is definitely in my opinion a post El and Yahweh syncretism.
Sure.
Okay. If he took it in his mind to take back his spirit and breath, all flesh would expire together, and man return to the dust. Now, if you have intelligence, hear this. Give ear to the sound of my words. Can one who hates justice govern? Will you condemn the just and mighty one? real quick, in previous editions of this word, the word Sadiq was amended to Masdik, repeating the mem from the preceding word to produce the sense. You will condemn him who judges the. Will you condemn him who judges the mighty? It seems advisable to abandon this expedient and retain the Masoretic text.
You know,
Hence, what he is, how he renders it.
so this is actually kind of strange. I'm looking back at the beginning
Yeah.
of this chapter, and it says, at least in my translation in the English Standard Version, then Elihu answered and said, but he just got done talking. Who is he answering?
Where?
The very first verse of chapter 34, of the chapter that you are currently reading.
Yeah, here he's responding to all four of them, it seems.
Okay, gotcha.
Right. On the righteous one, but Alter says the translation follows the lead of most interpreters. He says, would you call the great righteous one wicked? He says people understand this as a designation of God, though the Hebrew phrase Sadiq Kabir sounds a little odd in biblical usage as a divine epithet. And that's all he says about it. It sounds a little odd.
Okay, verse 18. Does one say to a king, scoundrel, criminal to nobles? He pays no respect to princes, nor favors rich or over poor. They are all the work of his hands. In a moment they die at midnight. Gentry they are shaken and pass away. The mighty are removed without hand. For his eyes are on man's conduct. He sees every step. There is no darkness, no shadow where evildoers can hide. For he sets no man a date to come before God in judgment. He shatters the mighty without inquiry and sets others in their stead. Because he knows their deeds, he overthrows them in a night, and they are crushed. As criminals, he strikes them down in the public place. Because they turned away from him and heeded none of his ways, to bring the cry of the poor before him, that the complaint of the afflicted he may hear. If he keep quiet, who can condemn? If he hide his face, who can see him? Be it nation or man, 'tis the same, lest the impious man rule, lest snares of people. He has said to God, I was mistaken. I will offend no more, that I may say, teach me. If I have done evil, I will no more. Shall he requite on your terms, since you object? Shall you choose not he? What do you know? Speak. Sensible men will say to me, any wise man who hears me. Job speaks without knowledge. His words make no sense. Job ought to be tried to the limit for answering like impious men. For he adds to his sin, denies his transgression among us, multiplies his words against God.
So it's just kind of interesting how a lot of the language used here is coming off very legalistic. Like it's less about morals and more about like the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alter says that Elihu is a political conservative, and because of verse 18 where he says, does one say of a king scoundrel,
Yes.
wicked of the nobles?
No, I know. Chris, your camera's off.
Yeah, I had to step away for a minute here. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I figured he was doing something.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
That's the end of that chapter.
you know who would definitely call a king a scoundrel?
Mordecai?
Maybe.
Abraham?
Also maybe. No, I'm talking about
Moses?
shut up. Landon.
Oh, Landon.
Landon would call a king a
but,
scoundrel.
but Landon can, because Landon is God. We've established this before.
That's fair. Yeah, that's true. He is God.
Yes. Do you hear or see anything strange happening?
Yes, I see stuff. This is not the way it's supposed to be.
Oh, man.
I no longer hear
Where
anything.
are the invisible pink elephants?
I am tripping balls.
Oh, this is so weird.
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know that I support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Wow.
Whoa.
Amazing. Thank
Jesus.
you, Jesus.
The greatest message I've ever seen.
That was,
Yeah.
in fact, the greatest message we've ever
And
seen.
that was all the proof of God that I need.
Right?
Yep.
That's it. Show's over. Let's go.
Everyone
Welcome
knows the minute
to-
that you see Jesus, your standards decrease for what you need for God.
And he's a white guy.
Yep. Obviously.
I guess
I
I'll.
mean, we've all known that.
Yeah.
All those church images had to be white.
Exactly.
He was blonde and had blue eyes.
Yeah. He also had like he also had this weird symbol on his arm. Let's continue. With chapter 35.
Chapter 35. Elihu spake moreover and said.
This guy just can't shut up.
Yeah, it's like the same thing that happened with Job.
I know.
Where he kept going.
But this guy's going for longer.
Yeah. Thinkest thou this to be right, that thou saidst, my righteousness is more than God's? For thou saidst is a strange word. What advantage will it be unto thee? And what profit shall I have if I be cleansed from my sin? I will answer thee and thy companions with thee. Look into the heavens and see, and behold!
Behold!
The clouds, which are higher than thou. If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him?
You know, this I've heard this a lot from apologists that sin like personally affects God somehow. But this is like the exact opposite of that.
Yes.
Because God is so big, so large, so larger than life.
Right.
What could you possibly do?
Well, the way I think about sin, right, is that God doesn't care, at least in this theology. God doesn't care. But sins are when you break the terms of agreement that were agreed upon with the covenant that was established.
Sure. But this is set at an earlier time. So when there was...
Is it? It doesn't say at the beginning of Job, there was a man who lived 10,000 years before Abraham.
I guess.
Okay. If thou be righteous, what givest thou him? Or what receiveth he of thine hand? Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, but thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man. By reason of the multitude of oppressions they make the oppressed to cry. They cry out by reason of the arm of the mighty. But none saith, where is God my Maker, who giveth songs in the night? Dreams. Who teacheth us...
Many interpreters prefer to understand the noun zemerot as deriving from a rare homonymous root zemir that means strength. There is nothing, however, in the immediate context to indicate that strength
is the more likely meaning. By opting for the meaning melodies, one accords the poet of the Elihu passages his first line of haunting poetry in an otherwise lackluster performance.
Who teacheth us more than the beasts of the earth, and maketh us wiser than the fowls of heaven? There they cry, but none giveth answer, because of the pride of evil men. Surely God will not hear vanity, neither will the Almighty regard it. Although thou sayest thou shalt not see him, yet judgment is before him. Therefore trust thou in him. But now, because it is not so, he hath visited in his anger, yet he knoweth it not in great extremity. Therefore doth Job open his mouth in vain. He multiplieth words without knowledge. Wow, so he's like, Job's a disinformation agent, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much exactly what is happening there. But that is the end of chapter 35. Drop a like if you're enjoying the stream.
And if you really enjoy this stream, merchandising.
Yeah, merchandise.
We have t-shirts.
And we got a bunch of stuff over in the chat over there. Well, it's actually on that side.
Is
over
it?
there by Ruben.
It's on one of our sides.
It would be next to you.
I guess.
Yeah. So it's over there. If you can see it, right?
Well, what if they have a different zoom on their computer?
Right. Well then, then it could be below us.
Down.
It could be below it. I could be in a lot of places. Really, whichever thing you want to do. Either way, Nightbot's in the chat doing stuff. Click on those links. But let's hop right into chapter 36.
Yep.
And Elihu continued and said, "Bear with me a little, and I will show you, for I have yet something to say on God's behalf." Chris, what are you talking about? Is your mic even on? Okay, good.
What?
If his mic,
What?
no, not. Oh my God, not Chris 1, Chris Prime. Because Chris Prime was talking in the background, I had to make sure that his mic was off.
I was verbatim repeating what you said because of how vague it was. It was making me laugh.
Okay.
It was like, bear with me, and I'll tell you about a thing that someone said. God.
Yeah, and the
It was like so vague. I loved it.
Because here's the thing. He has already been talking for a while, and he's like, stick with me just a little bit. I still have some stuff to tell you. I will get my knowledge from afar and ascribe righteousness to my Maker. For truly my words are not false. One who is perfect in knowledge is with you. Jesus Christ, this guy has a huge ego. Behold!
Behold!
Can I get a behold?
You probably can. God is mighty and does not despise any.
So, Eerdman says that Elihu is speaking to Job on God's behalf.
Sure, he's...
Does he directly claim to be speaking to Job on God's behalf? Is it implied that Elihu is directly a messenger of God?
I don't think directly, but apparently he seems to think he's a very smart person.
He's full of himself.
He is.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyways, he is mighty in strength of understanding. He does not keep the wicked alive, but gives the afflicted their right.
Strength and understanding. Alter says power and understanding, but he says, the Hebrew says literally power of the heart. But the heart is clearly referred to here as the organ of understanding.
Well, now it can be understood differently, because we still use that imagery.
Right.
Like, believe in the heart of the cards, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, you don't say believe in the understanding of the cards.
We've been watching Markiplier. The heart of the cards is real.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, it's cheating. It's blatantly cheating.
But it's deck stacking.
I just happen to know where all the cards are. That's all.
I mean, the Egyptians used to believe that,
the heart was where all the thoughts
Yeah,
were.
they'd
and
rip
stuff.
it out and say that's the brain. They were like, that's the thinking organ.
Yeah, they just kind of mushed the brain up and had it leak out your nose.
It wasn't important. They didn't put it in a jar.
Yeah, it was nothing. Just another stupid thing in your body.
Yeah.
Anyways, he does not withdraw his eyes from the righteous, but with kings on the throne he sets them forever, and they are exalted. And if they are bound in chains and caught in the cords of affliction, then he declares to them their work and their transgressions, that they are behaving arrogantly. Yeah, sure. They're the ones behaving arrogantly here, Elihu. Yeah, that's them. He opens their ears to instruction and commands that they return from iniquity. If they listen and serve him, they complete their days in prosperity and their years in pleasantness. But if they do not listen, they perish by the sword and die without knowledge. You know, it seems like at least this part of Job...
Yours says they will perish by the sword?
Yes.
Alter says, and if they obey not, they will cross the current and expire unawares.
Does he have any notes on that?
He says on the current, as in 33:18, the probable reference of the Hebrew shalat is to a mythological river marking the border of the realm of death.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So it's just like an imagery thing.
He says that it was also referenced in 33:18.
18. Yeah.
Where in 33:18 it says that he save himself from the pit and save his life from the current. And Alter said the translation concurs with one line of interpreters who conclude that the Hebrew shalah, which can mean weapon as well as stream, is a parallel to the pit and refers to a mythological river, such as the one known in Mesopotamian mythology that marks the boundary of the realm of death.
Can you confirm that, Chris?
Let me get confirmation. Yeah, it's confirmed.
Okay, great. But it's really interesting. This so far, this part of Elihu's speech is, maybe it's just the lens I'm kind of viewing this through, but there's a lot of post-exilic stuff here that could easily be applied, but I don't know if that would be applied correctly. So I don't know, Chris. What are your thoughts on that? Like, does this passage help with the dating of this edition?
Nope.
No? Okay. Felt like it might, because it's very similar to the stuff we got in the redactions in the Deuteronomistic history. So.
Nope.
Great.
Doesn't help. We have absolutely no idea when Job was written.
Well, I'm just talking about the edition of the Elihu speeches.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem, is we don't know when Job was written, so we have no idea where to even estimate the edition took place.
Fair enough. The godless in heart cherish anger. Oh, fuck.
Really? We do?
Oh, I guess.
Oh, no, shit.
They do not cry for help when he binds them. They die in youth.
Oh, God damn it.
and their life ends among the cult
this
prostitutes.
explains your channel so much right now.
What'd you say?
I said this explains your channel.
Yeah, it does explain our channel. But you know what? The stuff about life ending among cult prostitutes, that sounds like fun.
So it says Kadamites here. It says the Hebrew Kadashim is in dispute, though it has often been understood as a term for homosexual cult prostitutes.
Oh, never mind.
Some scholars deny there was any practice of cultic prostitution, male or female, in the ancient Near East. The parallelism with youth here is obscure. If the term does refer to male prostitutes, perhaps Elihu assumes they would have been cut off at an early age because of their promiscuity.
So we kind of went over cult prostitutes. Was it in Kings or was it in, or maybe it was in Deuteronomy? But I remember them being called like dogs or something.
Yeah, I don't
I remember that.
So anyways, he delivers the afflicted by their affliction, and he opens their ear by adversity. He also allured you out of distress into a broad place where there was no cramping, and what was set on your table was full of fatness. So that feels like it's a reference to an actual thing, doesn't it? Like everyone was like next to each other, but then they're not, and
No.
they're
Which
prospering.
verse is this?
No, verse 16.
Verse 16. He even drew you away from the straits, a broad place unconfined beneath you, your table heaped with rich fare.
All right. But you are full of the judgment of the wicked. Judgment and justice seize you. Beware, lest wrath entice you in scoffing, and let not the greatness of the ransom turn you aside. Will your cry for help avail to keep you from distress, or all the force of your strength? Do not long for the night when people...
No. So on the second half of verse 19, Pope reads it as all the power of your wealth.
Oh yeah, I guess that's kind of similar. All the force of your strength.
All the efforts of power.
Yeah, that all kind of in the same vein, I think.
Yeah.
Vaguely.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. Do not long for the night when peoples vanish in their place. Oh shit. Take care. Do not return to iniquity, for this you have chosen rather than affliction. Behold!
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 God is exalted in his power. Who is a teacher like him? Who has prescribed for him his way? Or who can say, you have done wrong? Remember to extol his work, of which men have sung. All mankind has looked on it. Man beholds!
Beholds!
Behold!
It from afar. Behold!
Behold!
That's a lot of behold!
God is great, and we know him not. The number of years is unsearchable. For he draws up the drops of water, they distill his mist in rain, which the skies pour down and drop on mankind abundantly.
Wait, it says rain for you.
Yes.
Have my mind. I'm sick of watching this flicker.
Okay.
All right. So yes, it does say rain for me.
Okay. Mine.
Yeah, hold on. Wait until your mic is on.
Put this on here. Mine does not say rain. Mine says they're distilled in the rain of his wetness.
Okay.
It says wetness. The term aid occurs only here and in the second creation story, Genesis 2:6, where it refers to the moisture rising from the primeval earth.
Huh. Okay. Right. Drops on mankind. Can anyone understand the spreading of the clouds, the thunderings of his pavilion?
I
Yes, I think we can.
We figured it out.
Behold!
Behold! We figured out clouds.
Yeah, we figured out how clouds work. He scatters his lightning about him and covers the roots of the sea. So this, I am seeing a couple things here. So scattering his lightning about him sounds very God of storms stuff here. And then covering the roots of the sea sounds very fuck you yam.
Yeah, go read the next two verses and then I'll have a note on this, actually.
Okay. For by these he judges peoples. He gives food in abundance. He covers his hands with the lightning and commands it to strike the mark.
So there's actually a word that usually doesn't seem to be translated or is translated in a weird, strange sense in this, and it's ale. It appears twice here in verse 30 and verse 33. And ale is usually, it's used twice in the Ugaritic corpus as an epithet of Baal.
Yeah, that was the word for your 100-point show question, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. So and then elsewhere it's used for Wad, it's used for Am, it's used for El. It's actually mostly used for El. But it's interesting that it's used for God here, especially in the combination with storm imagery. Because that like seriously harkens back to Baal. And actually, there is a there is a Ugaritic text which actually contains much of the same language when using these words for Baal. It's talking about specifically talking about the reigns of Baal.
I think this proves that Job is the oldest book in the Bible.
Also proves that it was a treasure map.
Yeah, that
definitely.
pirates used.
Anyways,
And it was written up at the Council of Nicaea.
yep,
By
that works.
Moses.
That works.
All thanks to that good old volcano god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Its crashing declares his presence. The cattle also declare that he rises. The cattle also declare that he rises.
Is that what yours says?
Yes.
Mine
I
says
need new batteries for my mic.
his roaring tells about him, his zealous wrath over evil acts. Alter says for verse 33, the translation of this cryptic verset is an educated guess, based on the surmise that this line is a continuation of the thunder imagery, and that the rumbling of the thunder is heard as a manifestation of God's awesome power. The second verset in the original sounds altogether like gibberish, and in fact mirrored inadvertently in the King James Version for the entire line. Quote, the noise thereof showeth concerning it, the cattle also concerning the vapor. End quote. This translation tries to rescue the verset from pure gibberish by amending mikna, cattle, to mekane, to be zealous, and revocalizing ola, going up, as aula, wrongdoing or evil act.
All right. So is that all the notes we got for the end of 36?
Yeah.
Great. All right. So you guys are enjoying the stream? Drop a like, and a dislike if you want. We don't really give a shit. And we can hop right into chapter 37, which is going to be the last chapter for today.
Yep.
Yeah. My turn.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, the joy, the cheer, the love, the hate. Yeah, I'm not reading it yet, so okay, here we go. At this, my heart trembles, leaps out of its place. Hear his thunderous voice, the rumble that comes from his mouth. Beneath the whole heaven he flashes it, his lightning to the corners of the earth. After it growls his voice, crashing with majestic roar. Men stay not when his voice is heard. God thunders his voice wondrously, does great things we cannot comprehend. To the snow he says, fall earthward. To the downpour of rain, be strong. Every man he shuts in, that all men may know his work. Then the beast enters its lair, lies down in its den. From the chamber comes the tempest, from the scatter winds the cold. From the breath of God comes ice, the wide waters are congealed. He hurls lightning from the nimbus, scatters his light from the clouds. It changes direction as he wills, doing whatever he commands all over his inhabited earth. Whether for discipline or for grace or for mercy, he makes it find its mark. Give ear to this, O Job. Stop and consider the wonders of God.
God? Chris, verse 13 for me was quite different. Whether for correction or for his land or for love, he causes it to happen.
This says, whether for a scourge to his earth, whether for mercy, he makes it to happen.
Scourge.
They're roughly the same in the meaning.
Yeah, and then Erdman's comments in verse 13, God's motive for his accusations is seen to be unknown.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Give ear to this, O Job. Stop and consider the wonders of God. Do you know how God commands them, makes lightning appear in his clouds? Do you know about the cloud banks, the wonders of one perfect in knowledge? You who swelter in your garments, when the earth is becalmed from the south, can you spread out the sky within, strong as a molten mirror?
So
They
this
cannot
part
look
in
at
verse 18 here, Alter says, will you pound out the skies with him, which are as strong as a metal mirror? And he says, the prevalent notion in the ancient Near East was that the sky was a great slab, rakia, the vault of Genesis 1, a noun derived from the Hebrew verb that means to pound out. Since that verb appears only here in this particular conjugation, some interpreters understand it as sword of the skies, the sense that this conjugation of the root has in modern Hebrew. However, the reference to the solidity of the skies in the second verse, it makes the sense of pounding out a metallic slab more likely.
Okay. Interesting.
So we got a question here from Jonah. I once read the position that the wisdom poem of chapter 28 was originally the conclusion to the Elihu speeches. I don't know how prevalent this idea may be. What's your thoughts? I think
It's not prevalent at all. Most actually regard them as coming from completely different redactors or editors, or whatever.
as a narrative, I think it would make sense to put that speech after.
It would be dramatically
Yeah.
intelligible.
Yeah.
But then the question is, why would they move it? It wouldn't really make sense to move it if it were, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, 19. Tell us what we should say to him. We cannot argue from ignorance. Actually, you can, but it is fallacious. The Bible talked about fallacies before the philosophers did.
Ooh,
Man.
well,
That's your
maybe.
whole field down the drain.
It really depends on when Job was written, doesn't it?
You can't have logic without God. Psi 10 was right.
Okay, Darth Dawkins.
Or Psi 10. Or
Okay.
or every other presuppositionalist ever. They're just the worst.
Yep.
Should he be told, I wish to speak? Does a man ask to be devoured? When Zaphon comes gold, from Zaphon comes gold. Around God is awful majesty. And I've got notes here on that. So Marvin Pope actually retains the meaning from Ugaritic here. And the reason he does that is because Zaphon is actually the name of the cosmic mountain. And I hate using the word cosmic now because Richard Carrier has ruined it. But yeah, it's for basically the cosmic mountain that Baal and the gods inhabit at Ugarit, and also where Yahweh is said to inhabit in the Old Testament. For those interested, I would suggest The Cosmic Mountain in Canaan and the Old Testament by Clifford.
Alter says that this is a reference to Baal's palace on Mount Zaphon, structure made of gold, silver, and lapis lazuli.
Yes. And also, worth noting is that Blamad, in verse 22, actually reads, has a completely different reading. Says, from Zaphon comes gold, the Most High God, awful in majesty. And that's because there is the term al beforehand. It's the ayin and the limit. And that term it could either be taken as a preposition or as an epithet. If taken as a preposition, then it just has does not carry the meaning of Most High. If it Al is related, for those who don't know, to Ale, and it's also related to Elion. All three of those are cognate. So 23. Shaddai we cannot reach, preeminent in power and judgment, great in justice, he does not oppress. Therefore men should fear him. He respects no clever mind.
Alter points out that fear in Hebrew refers both to fear and to reverence.
Yes.
And that's the end of the chapter.
Yes, it is. And I would like to thank everyone for joining us.
Oh,
I would like
yes.
to say thank you to our guest, Chris, for being helpful as always. I would also like to suggest everyone drop a like and subscribe if you haven't.
Yes.
And, you know, we have the Alchemy Drive still going. We got all those links. We got Facebook, Twitter, our Teespring. You can get some shirts.
All sorts of things that you can participate in.
Yes, all
Yes,
sorts of
you
stuff.
can be on the show
Yeah.
if you donate to our Patreon enough money.
Yeah, but all the rewards are there. I think it's some good stuff.
They're all listed out on Patreon.
if I say so myself. And we have our wish list.
Yeah.
If you get some books, because it's just books on there.
Yep.
If you get some books, then we can read those books and make videos, and we'll use those books as sources.
And we're also going to be getting new sound stuff soon.
Yeah, we definitely are. We gotta
So
find all the right
If anyone in the
stuff.
audience works with sound and wants to suggest things,
That would be
shoot us an
fantastic.
email, MilwaukeeAtheist@gmail.com.
Yes, absolutely.
I wonder if the
But there's got to be something about where you're seated, Ruben, because it still flickers. You're in a different position with a different mic.
Okay,
Is
well,
it
we'll
in
figure
the-
that out.
Nuts.
Is it in?
It's only occasionally still. It's less than it was before, but it's still just you. And I don't know what to tell you. It's where you're seated, maybe.
We'll-
Other guests, we should get,
Weird.
some real mics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
Because if we get the wrong mics, then we won't have to worry about exchanging all these fucking batteries all the time.
yeah, we'll
know,
figure
they're
it out
nice,
after the
cool.
show. Stop talking about mic stuff.
It's chilling still.
We'll figure it out after the show.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for joining us, and we will
See you next Sunday.